The Kalos Tour details were announced a few weeks ago in Pokémon GO, and in this video, I'm going to be covering everything that we know so far about this event, including whether or not the ticket is worth purchasing at the current time of actually making this. Now, last year we didn't actually get an event ticket for the Univitour, so it's actually nice to see them add one this time, since that is going to include a shiny boost. Also, since we're a few months out, I'm also going to touch on the in-person events for those that will be attending or are thinking about attending. I'm personally going to be attending the Kalos Tour in LA on Saturday since I live about an hour away from the event. I attended the in-person events for the Sinnoh and Univitours the last 2 years, and I actually had a lot of fun, so if you do have the opportunity, I definitely think it is worth it, but we'll touch on that later on in the video. That being said though, let's dive into the details right now for the global event, starting with the free bonuses. So first of all, Mega Evolved Pokemon are going to receive a CP boost during this event, which means they're going to be a little bit more powerful. We're going to get 1/2 hatch distance, we're going to get 6 special trades on both Saturday as well as Sunday, so 12 across both days. Now it's actually pretty nice that they're including this for the free bonuses because normally this is a paid bonus, or at least it was for the Go Wild area. We're also going to get 50% less Stardust when trading Pokemon. We're going to get the shiny debut of Klefki, Howlucha, and Honedge. We're going to get special costume Pikachu featuring the trainers from the Kalos region, which are going to be Calum and Serena. We're going to get special incense spawns spelling out Kalos, which again is really cool to see this included for the free version of the event and not the paid version. We're going to have event-themed rotational habitat spawns, so let me go over all those right now. So first of all, from the Central Village habitat, we're going to have Bulbasaur, Pidgey, Eevee, Trico, Ralts, Chespin, Bunnelby, Fletchling, Skiddo, Furfrou, Spritzy, Swirlix, Helioptile, Dedenne, and Noibat. Next up from the Mountain Manor habitat, we're going to have Charmander, Scyther, Eevee, Torchic, Absol, Fennekin, Litleo, Pancham, Furfrou, Esper, Carbink, Phantump, Pumpkaboo, Bergmite, and Noibat. And then finally from the Coastal Laboratory, we're going to have Squirtle, Eevee, Mudkip, Froakie, Furfrou, Inkay, Binacle, Skrelp, Clauncher, Tyrunt, Amora, Gumi, and Noibat once again. And then we're also going to have a special hour where we're going to have all the featured habitat spawns, kind of just like the Citywide version will be for the in-person event, and that is going to be taking place from 1 to 2 p.m. and then again from 5 to 6 p.m. Now in regards to the other time slots, the Central Village is going to be running from 10 to 11 a.m. and then again from 2 to 3 p.m. local time. Mountain Manor is going to be from 11 to 12 and then again from 3 to 4. And then finally the Coastal Laboratory is going to be from 12 to 1 and then again from 4 to 5. Now we're also going to have event-themed 2 km, 5 km, and 10 km eggs. So in the 2 km eggs, we're going to get access to Larvitar, Bagon, Beldum, and Gible, all pseudo-legendary Pokemon. From the 5 km eggs, we're going to get access to all the different variants of Flabebe, so red, yellow, orange, blue, and white. The regional versions are going to be the red, yellow, and blue flowers. And then finally from the 10 km eggs, we're going to have the regional Pokemon, Kangaskhan, Heracross, Howlucha, and Klefki. So if you want to be hunting down those new shiny Pokemon, you're going to have to get those 10 km eggs. Now I forgot to mention this as well, we're going to get a boosted shiny rate for the free version, which is going to include the following Pokemon: Costume Pikachu, Chespin, Fennekin, and Froakie. This is actually pretty cool because normally they don't give a shiny boost for most Pokemon, you usually have to buy the ticket. And there is going to be a shiny boost for all the available Pokemon if you do buy the ticket, but specifically for these ones, you can actually get a boosted shiny rate, which is kind of nice. Next up, let's talk about the Pokemon that are going to be available from raid battles. So in 1-star raids, we're going to have Costume Pikachu plus Honedge. In 5-star raids, we're going to have Xerneas and Yveltal, which will both have their legacy movesets available. And then we're going to have a wide range of mega raids rotating every hour on both days. So as far as the schedule goes, from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., we're going to have Mega Charizard X and Mega Charizard Y. From 11 to 12, we're going to have Mega Pidgeot. From 12 to 1, we're going to have Mega Garchomp. From 1 to 2, we're going to have Mega Gallade and Mega Gardevoir. From 2 to 3, we're going to have Mega Kangaskhan. From 3 to 4, we're going to have Mega Venusaur and Mega Blastoise. From 4 to 5, we're going to have Mega Lucario. And then finally, from 5 to 6, we're going to have Mega Latias. Now on the following day, from 10 to 11, we're going to have Mega Sceptile, Mega Swampert, and Mega Blaziken. From 11 to 12, we're going to have Mega Scizor. From 12 to 1, we're going to have Mega Tyranitar. From 1 to 2, we're going to have Mega Absol. 2 to 3, we're going to have Mega Heracross. From 3 to 4, we're going to have Mega Metagross. 4 to 5, we're going to have Mega Salamence, and then finally from 5 to 6, we're going to have Mega Latios. There are so many good Pokemon to take advantage of here, but we'll go over the best ones you want to focus on as we get closer to the event. And finally, our last bonus is that you can get up to 25 encounters with Mateo each day, which is pretty crazy. This also implies that you're going to have an increased chance to get more Zygarde cells, although it wasn't specified how many you can get each day. Now, normally the way that Zygarde cells work is that you have to walk a different route, so I don't know if this also means you can keep walking the same route to encounter Mateo and then also also get more Zygarde cells? If that's the case, that's going to be awesome, but I have a feeling it's probably going to be more difficult than that. So anyways, with that being said, those are all the free bonuses that we're going to have access to during this event. Honestly, an incredible lineup. I have to say this is really good for the free version of a big event like this, especially one of the major ones in Pokemon Go. Normally they do lock a lot of this stuff behind the paid ticket, but I guess this time around the paid ticket is looking a little bit more skippable, but we'll go over what exactly you get from that right now and whether or not it's actually worth it. So first of all, the paid ticket is going to be $10, and if you actually purchase this through the web store, you're going to get 3 extra premium raid passes, so I would recommend doing that if you do plan to buy the event ticket. The first bonus that you're going to be getting from the paid ticket is going to be the boosted shiny rate on wild Pokemon specifically. That's going to be 1 out of 128. You're going to get 1 surprise encounter from snapshots on both Saturday and Sunday. For Saturday, you're going to get an encounter with Latios, and then on Sunday, you're going to get an encounter with Latios. Following that, you're going to get a special research focused on Mega Pokemon. You're going to get the Masterwork research for Shiny Diancie, and a timed research for the Furfrou trims. Depending on your region, you can actually change Furfrou into the different trims, and normally this would require you to travel a lot, but for this event, they're actually changing the locations where you can actually get the various trims, so that's kind of cool. And as of right now, those are the only bonuses that have been mentioned, but more details will be released in the future as we get closer to the event. This is how they always do it every single year for the GO Tour, so if this doesn't seem super enticing to you, there will be more stuff added on later most likely, but I think the major things for this ticket are already kind of here. So of course now we have to ask ourselves the question, is this ticket actually worth it at the current time of making this video? Because there is going to be other stuff mentioned that you're going to get with this ticket, but as of right now, this is the current value. So taking a look at it, we have the surprise encounter from snapshots for both Latios and then Latios. This is the equivalent of 1 raid pass for a legendary Pokemon, so I'm going to value that at about $2. Next up, we have the Masterwork research for Shiny Diancie. So normally these Masterwork research tickets range anywhere from $5 to $8. Last year they offered this as a standalone ticket, but this year they are including it with the ticket, which I think is pretty nice. Now I do want to mention that these are designed to take a long time to complete, hence the name Masterwork Research, so don't expect to get this done anytime soon. Your Shiny Diancie is probably going to take at least a few months. Now finally we do have the Shiny Boost, which is intangible, but it's the most valuable in my opinion. You can't quantify this one, but it's the major appeal for an event like this because you're essentially paying for an experience, and I think that's always worth it. RNG is still RNG at the end of the day, and you're not guaranteed to get a certain number of shiny Pokemon just because you buy this event ticket. You're still gonna have to grind through as many spawns as possible if you want to end up with good results, and sometimes RNG can be pretty brutal. Now from personal experience, when it came down to the Go Wild Area event that we just had recently in Pokemon Go, I did have the ticket, and honestly the shiny rates did feel a bit lower than normal, so that wasn't super great, but I still ended up pulling in like a lot of shinies over the course of the weekend. I think I cleared at least over like 50 to 60 over both days combined, so that was pretty good for me. I got a lot of really good shinies as well, so I honestly had no complaints. I played the entire time on both days, so I really grinded it out, but even my friend who normally averages over like 100 shiny Pokemon across both days, he ended up not getting as many this time, which kind of spoke to me that maybe either it was bad RNG, or, you know, the shiny rates were a little bit lower than normal. Now we do also have the timed research for the Furfrou trims, which I think is kind of like a cherry on top. I can't really quantify that one too much. Maybe for some people out there this is worth it because they don't have to travel to the various regions, but I think the main value comes down to the surprise encounters, the Masterwork research, and the shiny boost. And overall, they did actually make the free version of this event a lot more appealing than previous years. So, I mean, so far I think the ticket is worth it at a bare minimum for just the Masterwork research, the surprise encounters, and the shiny boost. I think you're getting what you pay for. I don't think the value is like extraordinary. And again, like the shiny boost is only valuable if you're going to be playing a lot over the weekend. If you're only going to be playing for a few hours, it probably isn't going to be as worth it for you. Now, following that, I would like to go over the in-person event information. So let's cover that right now for both LA and Taiwan. So first of all, from the bonuses, you're going to get a boosted shiny rate on wild Pokemon of 1 out of 64. So even better than the global version. You're going to get 1/2 hatch distance, 6 special trades, 50% less Stardust when trading Pokemon, 9 orange raid passes to use for the event day. Now for this event, the special incense spawns are going to be different. You're going to get the unknown letters A, X, Y, and Z, and I'm pretty sure that's just a reference to Pokemon X and Y and then Pokemon Legends ZA. And then you're also going to have the costume Pikachu available from the incense spawns as well. The event-themed habitat spawns are going to be the same, except you're going to have to walk around the park for these. You're going to have the same Pokemon available in 2 km, 5 km, and 10 km eggs that we talked about for the global version. The only difference for the 1-star raid battles is that the costume Pikachu are not going to be available. It's only going to be Honedge. The 5-star raid battles are still going to be Xerneas and Yveltal. And then for the Mega Raids, you're not going to get access to all the different rotations like we had for the global version. You're only going to get access to Gyarados, Gardevoir, Absol, and Lucario. Now you will be able to encounter Mateo up to 25 times, but for some reason you can't actually do routes inside the Rose Bowl Stadium or the Brookside Golf Course. Kind of a bad design if you ask me. I mean, why can't you just add routes for that part? I mean, people are going to be inside the park playing the entire day. But I guess you have to go outside to actually get those routes done for all of your Mateo encounters and the increased Zygarde cells. Kind of a dumb design for the in-person if you ask me. You're going to get 12 surprise encounters from snapshots. These are going to be costume Pikachu though, opposed to the global version where you get Latios and Latias. You're also going to get an in-person special research that's going to be different from the global version. You're going to get the Masteroic research for Shiny Diancie. I don't know if you're also going to get a different variation of this if you buy the event ticket for the global version. Honestly, hard to say as of right now. And then you will also get the timed research for the Furfrou trims. Once again, I don't know if that's going to be different for the in-person compared to the global. Now we're not done yet though, because there are going to be a few add-ons as well. So for the event ticket, right, that's going to be $25 if you buy it right now, $30 if you get it closer to the event and they still have availability. But then the additional add-ons are going to be as follows. We're going to have the Raid Lover add-on for $15, the Egg-thusiast add-on for $15, Citywide gameplay on any of the other days for $20 each, and then a Mega Night from 6 to 8 p.m. at the end of every single day. So all of those are optional. You can buy these at any point in time if you just want to get the event ticket right now. You can always change your mind later and then purchase these add-ons as you get closer to the event and you can figure out your availability or if it's actually worth it or not to you. And I'm going to go over right now whether or not I actually think they are. So first of all, let's go over the details for the Raid Lover add-on. So from this one, you're going to get 18 orange raid passes to use every single day. So that does include Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, regardless if you only have the event ticket for one of the days over the weekend. You're also going to get 5,000 additional experience from raid battles, 6 additional candy from 5-star and mega raids, and 3 additional extra large candy from 5-star and mega raids. Now for the Egg-thusiast, you're going to get 1/4 hatch distance, which is an increase from the 1/2 hatch distance. This isn't going to stack on itself though, it is just going to be 1/4 hatch distance. Then you're going to get 3 times hatch experience, 3 times hatch candy, and 3 times hatch stardust, and an increased chance to get 10-kilometer eggs from Pokestops. So that's actually pretty good if you want to hunt down those new shiny regional Pokemon. Now when it comes down to the Citywide gameplay add-on, I think this one is fantastic if you do have the time to go out and play on any of the other days. So if you have like the event ticket for Saturday, you know, going out on Friday or going out on Sunday could be a lot of fun. Honestly, if you did all 3 days, that would be quite tiring, but I guarantee there's going to be some people out there who do. And honestly, it is worth it. Again, you get 8 hours of event time to play, and you're not restricted to any of the habitats. You just have access to all of the spawns everywhere all at once. It's awesome. Now, when it comes down to the bonuses, we're going to have the same boosted shiny rate of 1 out of 64, 1/2 hatch distance if you didn't get the Egg-thusiast add-on, 6 special trades, 50% less Stardust from trading, 9 orange raid passes if you didn't get the Raid Lover add-on, and then you're going to have the same event-themed wild encounters plus event-themed field research. Now, we are actually going to have one more add-on that's going to be new for this year. That's going to be the Mega Night for $20. This will be available to purchase for any of the event days afterwards, so it's going to be from 6 to 8 p.m. on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, and you're going to get access to the following Mega Raids: Charizard X, Ampharos, Salamence, Sceptile, Altaria, and Garchomp. You're also going to get special event-themed wild encounters that are going to be a little bit different than the ones you get for the in-person event from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Now from this, you're also going to get access to special event-themed wild encounters and timed research. You're going to get 5,000 experience from raid battles, additionally 2 times catch candy, and you can actually get mega energy from spinning Pokestops, which is pretty cool. Now if you were to purchase all of these add-ons, it can get quite expensive, but for anybody who's going to be traveling to Taiwan or to LA, you're already spending a bunch of money to actually travel to these locations, so these add-ons aren't actually that much when you think about the overall cost for traveling. That being said though, not all of them are worth it in my opinion, so let's cover which ones are actually worth it and why right now. So first of all, the Raid Lover add-on is easily the most worth it in my opinion, because not only do you get 18 orange passes to use on your event day, you also get it for your non-event days too, regardless if you have the ticket for those days. That means for $15, you're not only going to get the increased candy bonuses, but you're going to get a total of 54 orange raid passes across all 3 days. Now in terms of meta relevance here, both Xerneas and Yveltal are great for raids and for PvP in the Open Master League, so it is definitely worth grinding these out. and it was also hinted that we're going to be getting additional tiers for Mega Pokemon during this event, so it may also be worth doing extra raids on those, but as of right now we don't have any official information, so I can't say more about that. Now I totally understand if you already have Xerneas and Yveltal build, this might not be as worth it for you. I mean, looking back, right, we had Palkia and Dialga Origin forms featured during the Sinnoh Tour, and then we had Black and White Kyurem featured during the Unova Tour. For the Kalos Tour, these are essentially just repeats. Now I do hope that we're going to have something a bit more exciting released as we get closer to the Kalos Tour, because that's normally what they do. I believe they waited until like January or like close to February to announce Palkia and Dialga Origin forms, so I mean maybe we'll get something else in the raid pool, but as of right now this is what we have so far. And I think it is worth it if you don't already have Xerneas and Yveltal built, or you don't have them powered up to level 50. I think it could be really good. Again, like you definitely get your money's worth just getting access to all those raid passes across all 3 days. So I think it is worth it, especially for the increased candy bonuses that you're going to be getting per catch. I mean, that's just insane. So when it comes down to it, I think the Raid Lover add-on is totally worth it, but let's talk about the other ones right now as well. So the Egg-thusiast can be worth it if you plan on walking a lot and hatching a lot of eggs. You'll have to decide if the regionals and the 10-kilometer eggs are something that you do want to hunt for. This will be the debut of Shiny Hawlucha and Klefki, so I know some players will be hatching as many eggs as possible. The increased drop rate of 10-kilometer eggs from Pokestops is also a nice bonus with the Egg-thusiast add-on, and the 1/4 hatch distance is going to make things go so much quicker. That said, you're also going to end up spending a ton of money on incubators since this add-on doesn't provide any, so at the end of the day, I think this can be worth it depending on your goals and playstyle, but personally, I've always skipped the Egg-thusiast add-on. Even though I have a ton of super incubators stockpiled from the referral program, I could probably take advantage of this extensively, but honestly, at the end of the day, I don't really know. Maybe I might get this just for the sake of it because I've never actually gotten it for any of the in-person events that I've gone to. Might just kind of see how this goes. Maybe I'll hatch a few shinies. We'll see, maybe just for content purposes. I'm already going to be going to the in-person event, so why not, right? But it's tough to say. It's very, very tough to say. Now, I do also want to mention, just like the Raid Lover add-on, these bonuses will be applicable from Friday to Sunday, so even if you don't have the event ticket for the Citywide on Friday or Sunday, for example, if you have the event ticket for Saturday, you will still have access to these bonuses and you can take advantage of them. Now, on that note as well, let's talk about these Citywide add-ons, which I think are fantastic for anybody who wants to grind out the featured Pokemon on either of the days that you're not going to be playing inside the park. So again, you're also going to get increased shiny odds here, which means you can take advantage of the more popular grind spots around the area. You're not going to be limited to habitats. I think that is excellent. Now, the last 2 years that I've attended the Sinnoh Tour and the Unova Tour respectively, my event day was on Saturday, and so I purchased this add-on for Sunday both years. And even though I was extremely tired from walking on Saturday, I still ended up having a ton of fun on Sunday. It is quite the grind though, especially considering that we have the global event the following weekend. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that again for this year. Like, it can definitely be a bit of overkill, but you do get the increased shiny odds, right? 1 out of 64 is much better than 1 out of 128 for the global event. And so I might do this again. I'm not entirely sure though. We'll have to see how things go. But at the end of the day, man, it is just a lot really packed in there. And of course, with that being said, we should also talk about the Mega Knight, which is going to make your grind time even crazier, especially if you're playing multiple days. So the Mega Knight is a completely new add-on featured, and I'll be honest, I don't think this one is worth it. Now again, we don't know how the Mega rework with the new tiers is going to work just yet, but after a full day of grinding for 8 hours in the park, even 8 hours grinding in the city, I don't know that paying $20 for 2 extra hours is actually worth it. Keep in mind, that is the same price as just getting a citywide add-on for another day, where you're going to get 8 hours of playtime. Not to mention, you'll still have to spend money on raid passes since you're not going to get any from this ticket to my knowledge, or you might get a few through the timed research, but it didn't actually state how many, so it's kind of hard to quantify that. Overall though, I don't think this one is worth it, and so when it comes down to it, if you really do want to play more, just get a citywide add-on for a different day. I think your money's going to go a lot further that way, opposed to spending $20 for 2 extra hours for some mega raids. Now, for those of you that are going to be attending either of these in-person events, I would love to know what your game plan is. This is going to be my 3rd time attending an in-person event at the Rose Bowl, and so if you guys do have any questions, let me know in the comments section down below, and I can do a Q&A video as we get closer to the in-person event. With that being said, that pretty much covers everything I do have for you guys in this one, though hopefully you did find it helpful and informative, and if you do want to check out some more content, I'm going to recommend these 2 videos next.